you jumped on. How are you doing?
That depends on if you hear me.
Not?
Okay.
Not doing?
Not hearing you, Jim.
Are we in the Hangout limbo for you again? I've got my chat open. Oh, no, this is not on a Hangout. You know what? Let's do something here. Jim, I'm going to put in my cell phone number. We'll put you on speaker and see if that works out. All right? So I ordered the iPhone 6 Plus back in November. On the 1st of November, I finally got it 3 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it took a long time.
So have you been playing with it so far?
Oh, yeah, well, what I had done, because mine actually died a horrible death, I had a 4S. And, all right, Jim, are you doing all right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you actually on both.
Okay, good.
Well, right now I'm going to mute you on my phone. And apparently neither of those work for this one. Okay, I can still hear you on my phone, though, so I'm going to take you off a speaker. And if we're having any issues, if you're trying to talk and it's not coming through on the Hangout, then type a message in there and I'll just switch over and put you back on speaker. But I'll keep this line connected for right now as a backup. Okay, Jim? Okay, so now I'm not hearing you on the Hangout. All right. So mute yourself on the Hangout. And, wow, I don't know how to do this without here. So now I'm talking, and I don't hear anything on the phone. Okay. Let me turn it up. It's up as loud as it will go. And let's see here. Maybe I can put it on this little stand, and we'll see if that works or not, because it'll be up. Jim, why don't you go ahead and talk real quick?
Okay, I'm now unmuted.
Okay. So clearly I could hear the feedback in the phone. So that means everybody else will be able to hear you as well, right? Just nod if you can hear Jim.
Yeah, I can hear.
All right, good. Go ahead and put yourself back on mute unless you're going to talk. This is my, here we go, my French press coffee. It's a lot stronger, a little more bitter, but more tasty too. So.
You should private label that stuff then.
Yeah, French press, I'm sorry. I think that's gone already. So let's talk today. Let's see. Let me share my screen real quick. And if there's something that you guys want to cover, let's write it down, and we'll walk through it. Things I think that would be good to cover would be this loophole product. 2 would be, what else?
Sales tax, honey. Sales tax.
What do you want to share?
Sales tax. We need to talk about the situation.
Sales tax, yes. 3, let's talk about new products. Oops, what did I do there? New products. 4, I don't know. What else? If you guys think of something else, let's make sure we cover it. All right, you're taking a picture. Very good, Mark.
Yeah, I'm just figuring it out. I'm like, what is it?
Well, good luck with that. All right, so if you want my screen to stay up, then click on the picture of my screen down on the bottom, and it will stay forward for you. If
I don't know what I'm doing.
if you want to pop up on everybody when they're talking, then that's fine too. I'll leave it up to you. All right, so the loophole stuff. I'm not sure how Allie gave everybody access to it. You should have been able to have your own username and password. It doesn't appear he's done that for anybody. I could be mistaken, but
I think I got something. I just haven't checked it out. He sent
Okay.
something out.
okay. So there are, I believe, 8 videos up there, and then last night, Jim, thanks for letting me know. I didn't realize he hadn't done that yet, but there's an email template. I haven't looked at the email template yet, but I did put it up there so you guys can get all of it. It comes in 3 formats: Pages for the Mac, Microsoft Word for the PC, and then also in a PDF form for whoever wants it. He talked specifically about that in one of the videos. I don't recall which one. The links for those are all the way at the bottom. I went through the videos. What I did is I actually downloaded them and put them on my iPhone, and driving around, or my wife had some minor surgery on Friday, waiting for her to get out of recovery. I was watching those. And she's had surgery on her foot. She had a plantar fasciitis or something like that. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, basically it was a torn tendon in the bottom of her foot. They did some repair work, and it was an outpatient thing. I think the surgery took 30 minutes, and she was, recovering from the anesthesia that wasn't. They didn't put her out. They just put her in twilight for about an hour, and then we were on our way. Anyway, I watched the videos. They're all pretty short. I think there's a couple of 50-minute ones in there. Some of the other ones are 18 minutes and some change. So I would say you're probably looking at about between 3 to 5 hours of material. Some of it is repetitive. There's a little bit that's contradictory that I found, so I need to go back through it a second time to understand it. I just want to give you guys kind of a high-level view of what it was about, in case you haven't watched it yet. It is how to market yourself as a Amazon expert, and where to look for potential clients. The idea behind it is you don't risk any money in inventory, you don't risk any money in advertising. What you do is you say, I will do this work for you to get you on page 1, and you will share a percentage of your Amazon payments with me. In this process, you get access to their Seller Central account, which means you know how much they're getting paid. And it gives you the follow-up email. It gives you some basic scripting for the phone conversations that you might have. It gives you some direction on how to find potential people that are in need of your service. It actually offers 4 different locations, which I thought was lame. One of them was lame, friends and family. Like, yeah, I've got a bunch of friends laying around with manufactured goods that don't know how to sell it online. Hold on just a second, guys. I got a call coming in from my wife. All right, sorry about that. So from that perspective, friends and family is one of their places to look for potential suppliers or manufacturers or people that are already selling stuff. Another one is on Amazon itself. Another one is celebrities that want to monetize their name or have tried to monetize their name but aren't necessarily selling on Amazon. And then the 4th category is new products that are really... Hold on a second.
He's a busy man.
No, it's actually my wife keeps calling me over and over. I keep telling her I'm on a call, but she doesn't get it. So, anyway, so the 4 categories: friends and family, people on Amazon that are selling and not doing well, celebrities that want to monetize or have tried to monetize that aren't selling on Amazon, and then the 4th category is new products, and it gives you 6 different websites to go to where you can see people that are raising money or have new products, and you do some research on those to find out what would be good and what wouldn't. It gives you some specific criteria on the Amazon items to look for ones that would need your help, and then it's nothing new. It's not rocket science. It's just it's giving it to you in a way that is kind of all put together. Or not all put together, let me rephrase it. Put together more than probably any of our individual thoughts have been on this particular thing on, hey, I can help anybody sell stuff on Amazon now. The concept is not new. What was it? Dennis Ackerman, I think, had a interview with Matt before, or yeah, I think it was Matt, before I signed up for ASM that I listened to, where he said that he was bankrupt and had no money, so he had to find somebody that he could sell their stuff, and they split the profits. It's basically the same concept. So
I remember that, yeah.
yeah. So this is what the loophole is. It's definitely. I don't think it distracts too much from what we're already doing. I honestly don't think that what we're already doing necessarily has a lot of stuff to do every day, although I'm sure if we had an unlimited supply of money and stock, we could do it full time. So I think in those periods of time when we're waiting for stock or we're not actively doing stuff, we could be making these calls or these emails to get this additional. There's some research that has to be done. There's some time that'll have to be invested in it. So if you're busy full time with your product and or your job, then this may not be for you. But again, only investing between 3 to 5 hours of time to go through it. Quite frankly, for me, it was easy for me to go through it while I was doing other stuff by putting it on my phone and just listening to it. There's a few things that he shows that are good to look at, and I'll be going through it again just to take notes for myself. But I won't. You don't have to necessarily watch the videos. You just really have to take in the information. So, are there any other? I mean, has anybody else gone through it?
Mhm.
Jim, have you gone through it?
Yeah, I've gone through it. Most of it anyway. And I concur with most of what you just said. It seems like you didn't really have to make the whole thing videos.
Right.
But, and I don't know if you guys are hearing the feedback here, but I'm getting feedback.
If you turn your
You can hear me okay?
yeah, if you turn your speakers down while you're doing that, you'll be able to hear on the phone too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's like most of these courses, take the easy way out and just do videos, and it would have been better, I think, with a PDF because it was so repetitive.
Yeah.
But still, you know, it had a lot of good points, and I think something to always consider.
One thing that they did say that I found interesting, I hadn't considered, but I do think is pretty accurate, is your payday will come faster. Your usable income from this will come faster than doing it the ASM way. And they're very specific, saying don't ditch the ASM way. That's not the point.
Right. It's a positive cash flow alternative because you're going to have immediate positive cash flow.
Right. And by immediate, you're looking 30 days, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give them time to start making money before you make money. But
well, if their product's already listed and all you've got to do is optimize the listing, you could certainly be bringing in 25% commission off of their net profit within a week, within 30 days.
Mm-hmm. So, are there any other questions on that?
Wait, when you say optimize their listing, like we optimizing, you're doing it with ASM and our product?
Yeah, that would be part of it. Yes. That's basically what. I mean, there's a number of things, and I don't want to go into too much specific. It's definitely in there, but there are some things. All of the all of the ASM optimization recommendations apply. Obviously, with the adjustments for Amazon's change in policy, all of what we're familiar with, where we got to do giveaways to get products. There's a part in there that talks about, telling them, look, you're gonna, depending on what niche they're in, you're gonna have to give away maybe as many as 300 a month for 3 months. And he's very what's the word, flippant about it. Like, if you can't do that, then good luck. I'm moving on to the next guy. I don't think I would have quite that attitude, and certainly, for my first guy, I would probably be a little more hopeful that I could make it work with less than that. But at the same time, is a good point. You don't want to spend a whole lot of time when you're not going to make money, because you're basically working for free for the first 30 days until they get something going. So you want to make sure that you're not spending that time and not getting paid for it.
So you would make the 25% on their growth or on their total?
His method is to make 25% of what Amazon pays them.
Wow. Good luck.
He calls it net. I call it gross net, maybe. If you look, let me open up a spreadsheet real quick and just look at, I just checked it against my numbers, right? So my product sells $39.95. So let's $95. So this is retail, we'll say. Cost of goods is $8.25. Commission is 0.15 times here. Let's see. Tracking shift, or whatever it's called, is 0.57. So my gross net, my net is going to be this minus that, minus that, minus that. So I'm making $23 on a bottle. Now, for all of this, the gross net that Amazon pays me is everything except for the cost of goods. So it's 31, right? So if I'm giving away, this is a loophole commission, I'm giving away 25% of what Amazon pays me on that, and this would be I'd only be making $15 on a bottle instead of 23. Would I be willing to do that if my number of sales went up 3 times what I was selling already? Absolutely. Do I care if I give away $24 if I'm making an extra, what, 45, 25 bucks? Nope, I don't mind that. Right? So if I'm already selling, let's say I'm selling 10 a day. Right now, what I'm making in my pocket is $230 a day. If I increase that to 30, and I'm paying somebody commission, I'm still doubling what I'm making. I'm happy with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Quite frankly, I would probably start out with telling people 30%. Still making more at that rate. But I'm giving up almost half of my nets to do it. So
wouldn't that be something for you to go for instead of having a set job? Because if this really works, that might give you more flexibility with your family.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Would I do this either way? Yeah, I will. I will do this. I'll see how it goes. So my net profit on my product is 57.92%. Right?
Cool.
So that 25% that I'd be giving up, how much is that? That's 23%. And that's at 30, right? This is 30. If I'm making this 25, it's less than 20% of my actual net. So basically, it's taking this 57 down to 37, which is still pretty good. Now, with that, one of the things he recommends is telling them, look, you're going to need to spend about $500 a month in advertisement on, sponsored ads. So you're basically setting yourself up for success by establishing criteria and using that to filter out people that just don't have the money, don't have the volume, don't have the willingness to market. And you may call 20 people and only find one, or you may send out 20 emails and only get, one that would meet your criteria, but it's still one. And he uses an example where, what was it? They were selling 40 units a month at $54, and he took it in the course of 3 months to 480 units and got them to sell it for $48. And so his profit here at this rate, when I was at 54, I'm sorry, he was still doing 54 here. Another month after that, it was 600 units at 48. So, and then he basically said their net profit was 50%. So 27 and what would be here? Minus $21 would be their net profit. But so this is what he said he was going off of his commission, and he was charging 25%, which made him $3,200. So this is 9 times 7. Apparently this is different now too, so 27 would be 24. Yeah, it was $3,600 is how those numbers came out. But you figure, here, how much were they making? It was 27 here. This company was making $1,000 a month on what they were doing. And with his intervention, they're making 10 times that.
Mm-hmm. And does he get into what he actually does for them? I mean, is it just the stuff we know, what we were taught through ASM, or?
Yes.
So no hidden new techniques or ways to do things?
Not according to him, although we know in our experience and from what we've encountered on the Facebook groups with other people that had success that there are. I mean, there was that Todd Snively guy who spends, $52,000 a year on traffic driving techniques that pull traffic from outside of Amazon into his different products. That we know there's web store opportunity, but everything that he teaches is very specifically Amazon, very specifically ASM based.
Mm-hmm.
But you could definitely take that to the next level. And I'll tell you, after getting more involved in following some of those more successful people, or apparently successful people on ASM Facebook group, I definitely know now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that is simply the diving platform to jump off of. And
what is
ASM?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you stop with ASM, you're done. You will not survive. So I think that there's there's a certain mindset. This is for all of you vision challenged folks out there like me. There is a mindset that if we haven't already shifted to, we need to shift to, and that is one of being a business owner, being an entrepreneur, being a, I don't want to say a risk taker, but not a student of ASM. How's that? Being your own business person. Having the mindset, hey, this is a great tool for my arsenal. And so I think that that mentality, that mind shift is something that we should all consciously make. And in reality, if you're not already in that mindset, and let me just come from a place of admission on this, I am not always in that mindset. Sometimes I have the employee mindset, and I hate that about myself. Sometimes I have the hobby mindset, and I hate that about myself. And I go out of my way to consciously change my way of thinking when I realize I'm in that mode. And that's something that I think that we need to do. And it's like gosh, I don't want to get too religious on you. The only thing I can think of is Paul talks about the Apostle Paul in the Bible talks about taking every thought captive. And I never got that. I never understood what that meant. But the insinuation there is not every thought originates from you. And if you agree with a thought, you then have ownership of that thought. So, I don't know, let's say I'm in line and I'm frustrated because it's Christmas and I'm stressed out and it's 10:30 at night and I want to get home, I'm tired, and I think, man, I should just like whip out a machine gun and shoot everybody, right? That thought, I don't want to kill a bunch of people. That wouldn't help me at all. I'm frustrated. And that thought comes from whispers from other places, right? If I agree with that thought and say, yeah, save me some time, I then become the owner of that thought. And I'm then responsible for it. But if I take that thought captive, hey, that's not for me, I toss it, I get rid of it, I dismiss it, and I move on, then I don't. And I try to do the same kind of a thing with this mindset of thinking like an employee or thinking like a hobbyist or thinking like somebody who's afraid. And when I find myself doing that, I don't agree with it. And I dismiss that thought. And then I consciously replace it with more of that ownership, that commander, that business person, entrepreneurial mindset, and say, I'm not going to accept that fear or that laziness. I'm going to make the hard decision. I'm going to, do the thing that requires maybe more work because I want the reward that brings. And I'm getting way philosophical, and I apologize, but I think if we expect to be fed from someplace else, like ASM, we will always be following in the herd. And if you follow in the herd, you'll live like the rest of the herd does. And I don't know how many of you live around cows or anything like that, but it's not a very clean or nice environment. When we start feeding ourselves, that's when we take that next step up and we get out of the herd. And now, we have some control over our environment, some control over our future, and we get to live like we want to live and not like everybody else has to live because it's all they know. So, anyway. I'll stop talking about that now. I feel like I'm lecturing, and I don't want to do that. Anyway, if you have time over the holiday season, take a step back and kind of take a look at how your thoughts work and how what your point of perspective is on all of this stuff, and do it from a third-person perspective. Step out of yourself for a moment, if that's even possible, and just kind of analyze that. I know I have a long way to go to make the changes I think I need to make to where I'm always in that mindset. And you might find a couple things that you could work on too that would be helpful for you. So let's go back real quick to our list here. We talked about the loophole stuff. Are there any questions on that or on any of the things that we talked about related to that or other things that you could do to really maximize your profitability as a business owner? Okay, I'm going to take the silence as a no. We're going to move on to topic 2, sales tax.
Yeah, so maybe I start. You saw my what I shared on our page. So since then, I had put it up on the ASM Facebook and on the ASM Masters Facebook site, and I got a lot of responses. And there is no consensus. So interesting wise, heavy hitters, the one who really make money, they have stayed quiet. Nobody has responded. No Jason Flatlin, Nat, I mean nobody from those people have responded, or the people who make $30,000, $50,000, $70,000 a month, which I find kind of interesting. I have started a collection of website links with articles and videos and stuff. So at some point, when I feel it's complete, I'm going to send that out and put on our page so you guys can see that in a more consolidated way. It doesn't seem like there is a consensus. In my own personal process, I had a terrible week. I was really freaking out because my husband was freaking out. I mean, he had a really mental, emotional meltdown around that because it got so threatening. And I mean, he was seeing a therapist and he was like, I have to move out. I can't confront this anymore. And I mean, it was really a nightmare. So, and the big problem is that you don't really get solid information. And I mean, we already have started in this process what has triggered his upset. So we're in the process of signing up with 4 states. The state we're living in, we are signed up. California, we are signed up. Texas, I don't remember the other 2. New Jersey is its own kettle of fish. I think they have been hacked because we get sent emails with additional charges they put on it. It's really expensive to sign up with those states, like $100 and additional stuff, big paperwork you have to do. I mean, it's like endless. Even if I would be willing to do it, I don't know how I can do that. I mean, I feel so overwhelmed at this point because I have started signing up with the 4 states. It seems like the smartest to keep doing that and try to get that to an end. Then they all charge you late charges. So for you guys who have decided to sit it out, there are $50 late charges for each quarter. So that's $200 a year, plus what they charge you on the missed, on the amount which was due. That's additionally to that. So this is not something to take lightly or anything. So I feel like I'm hitting a place here where I was ready to drop out last week. I couldn't handle it emotionally and mentally. So what you were talking about, Alan, the mental attitude, I was just collapsing because my emotions went out the drain. And on top of that, after our last talk 2 weeks ago, I took to heart this new combination of products we have talked about, and I thought, well, why don't I do from my set of car wash mix, add another product like a single car wash mitt. So I had that ordered. I had to reorder my set of car wash mitts. I ordered my first aid kit. So I have to pay $14,000 because I have done down payment. So it's not like I can stop right now and say it's all too much, I can't handle it. So I'm committed for $14,000. So, and then on top of it, I have trouble with my first aid kit shipping in, and by comparing sea freight, it turned out I have to sign up. As an importer, I have to sign up with the FDA, and that is $3,660 per year, added onto the cost of my first aid kit. And I've only ordered 400 pieces, so that's over $10 each. So I was hit so hard this week, I just didn't know where was up and where was down. And then with my husband kind of cycling down, I had a terrible week, really. And I'm still in this place where I don't really know what to do with it all. I mean, it seems like I only can move forward, so I finished the sign up with the 4 states and see. Hope that I make enough money at some point that I don't care what else in penalties and stuff is heading my way. So I would really like to hear a little feedback here, my dears.
Okay, so before we go forward with any comments, did you see that Wilson made a response to your post?
No, that one I didn't see.
So
when was that?
This
I
was
haven't checked my emails today. It's morning here, so
15 hours ago. So it was what, around 10 o'clock p.m. Pacific time.
okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Good.
7 p.m. your time. So this is his response, and I don't know that's going to put your mind at ease any, but I do think that the worst possible reaction that you or your husband could have would be freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
It just is not going to help you at all.
Well, I can't, even if I would want to give up right now. I mean, I'm so deep in with so much money.
And for you, I think that's actually a good thing because it's keeping you from quitting. I think with the freak out that you had and your husband's freak out, so your pillar of strength is kind of not there to hold you up at the moment. I think
right.
that would have been enough to make you throw your hands up and walk away. And
I was really there.
I'm glad that you're so deep in, and that prevented you from doing that. And it's a horrible thing to say, probably, but I'm saying it because I love you and I care, and I think it's a good thing in the long run. So I'm not going to read this for you. I went ahead and posted the link in there to the overall post.
Yeah.
Probably, I don't know. Probably here is what I think is Wilson's comments specifically. Maybe I'll copy and address. Oh, there you go.
Well, but as far as I can tell with reading, he doesn't say if we have to pay sales tax or not. I mean, that issue is really not touched upon.
No, but his point is, it's not something that you should worry about specifically. You should have an expert handle it.
Yeah, but every expert says something different. That's the problem.
My point is, don't go on the internet and looking for experts. Instead, go to an accountant who has some fiduciary responsibility, has some fiduciary role, because they're held accountable if they screw up. So it'll be their job to go out and find out, where do I have to do this, where do I not have to do it, and then they also should have the ability or the resources to be able to execute on that so you don't have to do it. They should be able to find a way. Are they going to have to pay some money, and are you going to have to pay them some money? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, would you not pay, I don't know, let's say it costs, I'm going to go big, $1,000. Let's say it costs $1,000 to have an accountant sift through all of the stuff needed to get you properly registered, so you know how much tax you need to pay, where you need to pay it, and you can just hit somebody over records to do it. Now, this is versus you're stressed out, your husband's stressed out, all the work that you foresee you're going to have to do in the future, all the work you've already done on those 4 states. It's not going to be $1,000. It's going to be cheaper than that.
No, it's more than that, Alan.
No, it's not more than that.
Sign up with $100, $200, $300 for each state, depending on the penalties and everything. And then you have to set tax jar up. There's this monthly cost, and then there's $20 for each state monthly to pay for tax jar to get even the information in.
Then maybe tax jar is not the way to go.
Well, but how do you get the information? You want to do that by hand?
I don't know. I'm not an accountant. Ask the accountants. That's my point. You can't know everything. You can't be an expert in everything. And if you're the one spending the time doing your taxes, that means you're not spending the time making money.
All right.
So there are two kinds of people in this. No, actually three. There are technicians, there are employees, and there are owners. The owners make money because they have other people doing the work for them so they can focus on making money. Technicians do stuff for an exchange of funds. This could be a consultant, this could be an employee, this could be whatever. It's based on the work that they do, how much they do. This is definitely your accountants. This is definitely your lawyer. This is definitely the people who have expertise in a very specific area, and they make money, and they're happy with the money that they make. They like it, or they do for now, anyway. Then there are employees that make money whether they're doing work or not. Some of those are good to have, some of them not so much. So, you know, if you are going to have employees, you're going to need a technician that knows about HR stuff. I don't know about HR stuff. I'm sure half the things that come out of my mouth would get me a lawsuit if I had employees. So I need somebody to tell me what I can say and can't say. I'm not going to try to figure out the money situation. I'm going to stick my head in the sand. I'm going to operate until I have enough working capital that I can spend on doing that. I'll pay the $50 a quarter, the $200 a year per state or whatever it is to go back and fix a problem. But I'm going to do that when I'm making $20,000 or $30,000 a month, not when I'm making $2. I can't afford it with $2.
Exactly.
$200, $200, 10%. I use 10 states. I'm out.
So, Shakti, I have a question.
Hold on, I'm not done yet. Wait a second. The next thing that's you're gonna come out of your mouth or through your head, or the thought that you're gonna make an agreement with is, well, but I already owe them the money. They're gonna come after me. Now, maybe they will. Maybe they got nothing else to do but then to come after you for $200. More likely, they're gonna spend their time wisely, and they're gonna go after the places that are gonna make them money, where the taxes are a lot more than whatever you've got going, whatever I've got going. They're going to come after those guys that are making $50,000 to $100,000 a month because of it.
I mean, in Texas, we sold $30 worth of products, and the sign up is like $100, $50 penalty, and I mean, it's so ridiculous.
Right. So wait until that amount of money is not ridiculous, then take care of it. That's my plan. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Dr. Mark. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, that makes sense. But yeah, I wanted to ask Shakti. This is a new money you're spending, the 14 grand.
Yeah.
How? Maybe in a gist, how did is your products really expensive? The shipping, or is that just all sales tax that comprises the 14 grand? That's a pretty big bill. Did I freeze?
Of the one product I have, the same product as a single, and the first aid kit. So basically, instead of one product, I'm gonna have 3 products.
Okay, so you're launching new products.
Well, and reordering is part of it, yeah.
Okay.
There is a company that I tripped over in the back office of Amazon Central. It's called Alvalera, I believe, Alvalra, if I remember correctly. And I contacted them about sales tax, and I'm supposed to talk to somebody after the holidays. He's going to call me back and explain exactly what they do. But they were one of the recommended companies back there. There's 2 or 3 others that also dealt with sales tax, and they will set it all up for you. But after your discussion on, in Facebook, I started thinking about when we had our retail stores. and I don't know how each of the states are, but we didn't have to pay sales tax until we had collected X number of dollars that month. So, when you look in perspective as to, you were talking about how much you sold in Texas, if you look at each particular state, have any of us collected enough to meet the minimum of that particular state if they all work the same way as the states we had our our stores in? So, a lot of us may not owe any tax until we get to that point. And I know that laws probably have changed even in those states, but I think the minimum was like $300, if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. So have each of us gotten that far in each particular state that we've collected enough to pay $300 in sales tax? Mm-hmm. So, I know we have to look at each individual state. And some states may say, you sold $25 and therefore you owe us whatever the tax is for $25 in our state. But I'm sure there's others that have a minimum that you need to pay. So and again, not all states are supposedly we're supposed to pay sales tax in. But anyway, I would not freak out about it quite so much either, just until we get all the facts as to what we really are supposed to be paying, if anything. But I'll report back after I talk to this gentleman from this company and see what their setups are and what he advises all of that.
That would be great, yeah.
One of the things that Wilson points out in that, and it's up on the screen, you can see pretty much in the middle of the screen, bottom line is that most sellers are ignoring these issues because a lot of the advice out there is plain wrong. So, and Jim posted a comment over there saying that if you ask 100 congressmen, you get 100 different answers. And I believe that's true. And one of the articles that you posted, the link to I read, and it was saying that there's an attempt to get a federal law passed to create a flat sales tax, which would give us the opportunity then to know what we've got to do. But right now, there's no set law, and there's been no legal cases that set a precedence that tell us what we need to do. So the only thing that is absolute is the income tax.
Yeah, of course, that's not a question.
Right. The sales tax is still a moving target. So, and the one court case that did get resolved, that from what I understood from reading the article that you posted a link to, was that somebody had sued one of the states or some of the states, saying that there's the burden of trying to figure out what I owe in every state is far too high. So, I'm being sued by the state, and the court agreed and said, yeah, until, somebody gets their act together, then we're not going to make you try to figure it out. So I think that my understanding from that article is actually in support of what I'm talking about, and that is just that you're not a big enough fish to fry right now. They're going to not hunt you down until you're making enough money for it to be worth their while. So, and right now it looks like there's no court case to support their attempt to make you. So at this point, I think that it's kind of moot. But anyway, does that make sense, what we've talked about?
It does. It does.
Does it give you any peace?
A little. I mean, I'm German, so we have this whole history of authority and abuse of government and leadership, and so not paying taxes and not doing something which I know is necessary is really difficult for me, because I like to follow the rules and not be taken down afterwards and put into a concentration camp, so to speak. You know? So there's a lot of fear in me culturally of not following what needs to be done.
I hear you.
With taxes, I mean, it can bleed you dry. It can bankrupt you if you don't do the right thing. So that's my fear, which is behind it.
I hear you. So let me share a little bit of American culture with you. There's always a way to win. There's always a way to win, even after a long series of failure. Even when there's a wave that's 20 feet high getting ready to crash down on you, there's always a way to come out of it without getting wet. And I don't necessarily know what that way is every time, but I can figure it out before that wave gets in there. And so can you. So can you. The perfectionism that you're afraid you'll be punished for if you don't have is a false perception. It's not reality, number one. Number two, it will inhibit your ability to grow and to succeed.
Right, I can see that.
And number three, it's just going to make you miserable.
Tell me about it. I mean, this week everything crashed around me. It was really hard. And then on top of it, the situation with the first aid kit, I really would like to get some advice too.
Yes, I agree. I think that is a bigger issue and a more immediate concern for you right now than the tax thing. I would put that higher on my list, and I would seek out probably first others that are selling first aid kits online to find out how they overcame this. And then second is I would look for a legal expert that either knows about this area or can get you in contact with somebody that knows about this area.
Well, the situation is that the FDA, I connected with somebody there, says it's a medical device. The glove, the Band-Aids, all that stuff is categorized as a medical device.
I hear what you're saying.
Huh?
I hear what you're saying. I want to.
And as an importer of that, I have to pay $3,660. If I would put that together in the U.S., it would cost $3,400 something. But either way, I would have to register with the FDA. That's the stand of the FDA. My manufacturer in China has never heard about that, and he connected with a big importer here in the U.S. they have worked with, who has $40,000 worth of products ordered, and he has never heard about it. So at this point, I don't know if I just try to get it in, and if it gets stuck at the border, then go through the application process. Or I just don't know what to do at this point. The product is ready to ship, so I have to come up with a decision here.
So a couple of different things that I want to point out. And please, if anybody else has any thoughts on these, jump in. I won't cut you off like I did Dr. Mark earlier. I apologize for that again. I feel bad. Number one, you got to understand that customer service reps that work at, we'll say, Seller Central, and that work at Verizon, and that work at, I don't know, let's say your mortgage company, they all make the same amount of money because they're customer service reps, phone reps. They all make the same amount of money because they have the same level of expertise, and they require the same skill set, which means the skill set that they require is not knowing the law. They have some sort of a script that they're off. They used to build these scripts and so they can follow along the script so they know what to say. So number one, just because they said it on the phone doesn't make it true.
Well, I also saw it on the website. I did the research on their website, the material they put out.
Number two is, if I'm in your shoes, I want to know the exact letter of the law. I want to understand what exactly it is that is the medical device. Is it the first aid kit? Is it the gauze wrapper, or the gauze bandages? Is it the Band-Aids? What is it? What is it that makes this a medical device? Because you know what? If it says, if I'm importing Band-Aids, they're not. If I'm importing scissors, they're not. If I'm importing gauze, they're not. If I'm importing, I don't know, Bactine or whatever, they're not. But if I put it together in a...
Everything you put on your body is a medical device. Every Band-Aid, every gaze, every pad, even sunglasses, which really seemed weird.
Yes, it does. So the fact, though, that this manufacturer has never encountered this before, and that their U.S.-based importer has never encountered this before, tells me that there's something that we're missing. And if you can find out what that something we're missing is, you have the key to making it work. If it is, like I said, if it is the fact that it's a first aid kit, fine, import all the separate pieces and pay some high school club $10 an hour for 20 of them to go and assemble your kits for you inside the U.S. Now you're not an importer of first aid kits. You're just a reseller of first aid kits. So
I'm not. According to the FDA, even if I put my own first aid kit together in the U.S., it would be, the registration fee would be $200 less.
we're missing something. There's got to be an answer here. Why haven't they gone out after all the people that are doing this already online and on Amazon? So there's got to be a catch. There's something we're missing.
Mm-hmm.
So I would spend, maybe an hour or two a day working on finding out what that is. To your other question, you're not sure what you need to do, but you need to do something quickly. I would actually probably, if it was me, I would test. I would have them send 50 units via sea and 50 units via air, or I don't know how many you have coming, but maybe less, maybe 10 units.
The whole, what is sitting there to be ready to be shipped is 400 units.
I understand, but because of this issue, and obviously they're going to be interested in the outcome of this too, they should be willing to split off a small group of it and send it via sea and send a small group via air and see what happens to those two. See if they are stopped. If they're not stopped, or if they're stopped via air and not via sea or vice versa, then you know how you need to send it to get it here at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can make the decision on how you want to proceed from there while it's being shipped, and you can be spending that couple of hours a day till you find the right answer. Honestly, it might be worth, like you said, you got $1,400 invested here. It might be worth spending. $1,000, my bad. Might be worth a couple $100 for a consultation, a $250 consultation with an attorney, saying, here's what I have, here's the information I printed out from the internet, here's what the person said on the phone from the FDA. What is the real deal? He'll look at it. He'll say, I'll get back to you in a few days. He'll do his research and come back to you with legal advice. And then you go off of that. I would be and before I do that, I would contact a couple of different manufacturers that are on Amazon and a couple that aren't on Amazon to find out if they are, if they're FDA registered and how and why. So, and honestly, for the companies that are domestic, your Johnson & Johnson and stuff like that, that's not going to be a big deal for them. They may be registered, they may not. But call and talk to the legal counsel. And don't call like, hey, I'm a competitor on Amazon, blah, blah, blah. Say, hey, I'm a consumer, and I want to know if you're registered with the FDA.
Mm-hmm.
You might even call the FDA. Say, hey, I'm a consumer, and I want to know what companies are registered with you to sell Band-Aids or whatever.
Okay, that makes sense.
And that way you start getting a sense for who is and who isn't. And you maybe even come with them with a few company names off of Amazon. Or is this company registered with you? Was that company registered with you? And now you can see who's registered and who's not, and what they're doing and what they're not. And then you get to make the decision. If it is required in the end decision, find out what the penalty is for not registering right away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get thrown in jail into a concentration camp where they make you break rocks for the next 20 years? Or do they fine you $20 per unit that you sold, right? And then you roll the dice and see what's better. Maybe you hold them until January. I would. If it's a calendar registration, I would not spend $3,600 on a week.
Well, it starts. The calendar starts in October, so
Hmm.
it's October to October.
That's just weird. That doesn't even make sense to me. But anyway, so these are the things that I would do. And I'll tell you the one thing, when I find myself getting stressed out about something and worried and not sure what I'm going to do,
Yeah.
what helps me feel better is making a plan. Whether the plan works or not, it's not always guaranteed, but if I have a plan on what I'm going to do to tackle a problem, I stop worrying about the problem and stand up at night and waking up early in the morning, can't go back to sleep, because I have a plan. I don't have to worry about it. All I got to do is stick to the plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was always wondering how you keep yourself going with all the challenges you have in your life. So that's a good idea.
Yeah, I write it down. I mean, literally, let me see. Do I still have it up? I'll share it with you right now if I have it up here. Oh, yeah, here it is. Let me show you. I haven't updated this in a week because I've just been negligent. So this is my road. This is the file that I use. This is my roadmap, right? I have programs. What is it related to? It's related to making income, right? So one project is get a job, right? It's project group 10. So I have different things that are actively ongoing that I'm seeking to follow up with. I go back to my roadmap, say here, control expenses, pay down debt. Number 20. I have it on a different spreadsheet, but I have things to do, specific dates, action items, right? Come back, maintenance things. I have a mortgage modification going on right now. I have home improvement tasks. Let's see, this is a good one. Number 31 over here. Different things that need to be done, right? I just did a high-level assessment of it, right? I got baseboards. It's going to be a moderate cost there. I need to wash all my windows. It's not going to cost me anything, just time. I got backyard flower bed that I need to finish. It's going to be a little bit more because I got to do, buy some plants and stuff that are kind of pricey.
You are organized. I'm impressed.
Well, the problem isn't the organization. The problem is sticking to this format. You got to make it a habit, and right now it's still not a habit for me. I do pretty good most days, but there are days that things just blow up, and I don't even look at this, right?
Right.
And this, I mean, these are not pressing items. Okay, my baseboards have been out for a year and 4 months. Okay, I had them pulled when I had to redo my floors. I never put them back in. I never went out and bought them and did them. It's not pressing, but it's something that's out there that now that I wrote it down, I think about it pretty long ago. I think about it just right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal. This is what I use to keep myself with all my different projects. And then, you get curveballs. And I don't know if everybody's built this way or if it's just me. I had somebody tell me one time, whatever job you do, I hope you handle issues as they come up and you get to solve problems on the fly. And I do. That's the kind of job that I have. And I told him, yeah, I do. He goes, you're really good at it. And I'm like, whatever. I assume everybody does that, right? Because that's just how I'm made. So some people aren't made for that kind of stuff. They like things to be in order and organized and neat. And I bring order out of chaos. That's how I'm made. I did that before I was project manager, and that's just what I do. And it's a skill set I have or a talent that I have. And trust me, there are about 100,000 talents that I don't have. So, and following rules like you do is one of those that I don't have. So
I don't know if it's a good one because it's driven by fear. I mean, it's not.
I understand that, but at the same time, mine is driven by ignorance because I don't care. I just move. I just go. Right? So I figure I work on the ouch principle. I just do what I do because I think it's the right thing. Until somebody says, ouch, stop. Then I stop, I reassess, and then I move forward again. It's been mostly okay, but I have had some, significant issues that have caused me a lot of pain because I operate that way. It's a cost of doing business the way I do business. So, one other thing I wanted to point out here is this particular post was interesting. This is where they collect sales tax for Amazon purchases and where they don't. So This is from the Wall Street Journal as the source, according to the picture. So this might just be a good start. I don't really know the answer to that. So look at Hawaii doesn't collect tax from Amazon. Interesting. All right.
I have to pay them because I'm living here. So
Yes, but you don't have to pay them sales tax. Interesting, her thing though. Once you start, it becomes messy. The second issue is if you need to pay income tax in the states where you have a nexus. That's a whole different question. Don't stress out about it. It's not worth it. Anyway. All right. Let's go back and look at our lists. Have we beat this topic to death effectively?
yeah, good enough.
Any more questions on it? All right. Next
So
one is
I understood it right. Nobody else has done that yet, right? Anyone else has dealt with sales
that I
tax?
know of, yes. Nobody in our group has done it, and I do believe that the bigger players are doing something. But I think that the thing that they're doing is they're going and getting an accountant saying, "Take care of this for me," because they have the money to do that. All right, new products. I'm just going to throw this out there. This is just go talk about it. New products. Nobody has thoughts on new products? Come on, Luann, you're shaking your head.
Oh, I have thoughts. It's got to be the key thing that I do as soon as the holidays are over is start researching and deciding on what our new products are going to be. I'm pretty sure I posted that. Yeah, I know I posted that our flashlight is no longer being carried by the company that we were buying it through and all of that, and we are sold out. We sold out a few days ago, and it was actually a heartbreak to see it go. I mean, it wasn't surprised that it was gone because I knew it was coming, but when I looked at the Amazon back office and saw 0, sold out, it was like, oh my goodness! It really did hit me hard that it was our first product is gone, and it was just funny. But so I have not found that exact product as yet from any other source, and with them trying to get us a substitute for it wasn't going to work because it was going to have to be approved, and so it was just didn't seem to be anything that we should pursue at that time because we'd never get it in and get it approved in time for Christmas sales. But at the end, we had people buying 2 and 3 at a time, which was really nice to see. So, great stocking stuffer, is what I was thinking that they were probably thinking. So that was just that was kind of nice to see that. But so we learned a lot. And, I'm sorry, Shakti?
Did you break even with it?
Actually, I haven't figured out the numbers yet. If we have or not, I hadn't even. Yeah, I've been. I think I mentioned I've been sick over the last 4 weeks. It's just the last couple of days that I've actually started feeling good, and I had to put the house back together after the repair people were here. So I've had so many other things that I've had to deal with that I haven't really looked hard at some of these other things. And I had
How many items did you sell altogether?
240. So not a big deal, but it took a while to get things rolling. But once it got rolling, they were we were selling a good number every week, and it was nice to see. And I really wasn't pushing hard towards the end because I knew the reorder was coming, another 250. And so I was waiting for the reorder to get into the warehouse so that I could, really start pushing, doing more ads and things like that. And so that didn't happen since we had to turn around and cancel the order and all that confusion. But anyway, it was a lot of good lessons learned, and certainly not going to give up or anything like that because that's gone. We'll be looking for something else to and hopefully get 2 or 3 products in and get moving that way.
Yep.
Mhm.
Cool. So I'm convinced that the ideal number of products to hit before you get to that next level is 10.
Mm-hmm.
And for them not to all be necessarily boomers, where you're selling 50 a day or even 20 a day, but if you're selling 20 to 30 a day across all of them, I think that would be the ideal. So, oh, did I lose Jim? Nope, that was something different. All right. Jim, actually, I wanted to ask you because you have a recent experience you were generous enough to share with us where you are you found some products that kind of follow a different mentality, and I know you'd mentioned that they were in sporting goods, and you even gave a little bit more detail on that. I'm not asking for that detail, but if you would be generous enough to share the mindset or the criteria that you thought might be valuable that obviously in your test you've proved as successful with, would you be willing to talk about that?
Well, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can everybody else hear me? Because it's through speaker.
Yes.
They're hearing you.
Okay. Well, I guess the one product you're speaking about is a sporting goods product that, and I think I mentioned this before. The main keyword for this product has less than 100 searches per month.
Mm-hmm.
So it's if you just look at the main keyword, you would never sell this product. And the reason I set out to sell it, import it from China, is because there were 2 products being sold on Amazon, and they had a decent DSR. And I'm wondering how. And I did some. I don't remember exactly at the go decision, but suffice to say that I looked at the keywords that I thought my competitors were advertising on, because I could see they had brand names in their bullets, lots of them, and I determined that they were doing Amazon ads, and that's how they were getting their rank. So I introduced a very similar product. I got my requisite Amazon reviews. I only got 10 or so right up front, 10 good 5-star reviews. And then I began to do Amazon advertising, sponsored ads, across a number of very high search keywords. And I just did really well from the get-go with that listing. I'll put it this way: I ordered 500 units back in late September. I sold out of all of them within about 30 days. I ordered another 100 units. Had those shipped to FBA because I wanted to put for FBA inspection. And then I've got another 600 on order, and 200 in inventory, and I'm selling about. I've been averaging about 20 or 30 a day. So I guess the point is that it doesn't necessarily have to jump out at you that the main keyword has a high number of searches. That was the main point that I was conveying to you, Alan.
Yeah. So,
but that's only one product. I have several products I'm now selling. Well, I have 3 products actually. I have 5 listings, but only 3 that sell anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this: as of October 1st, because of my Amazon ads, I've done over $16,000 in sales in the last 2.5 months, and I've sold over 1,000 units.
Woohoo!
I'm doing something right now, and I think a lot of that is a combination of getting a requisite number of reviews and then doing it in my Amazon ads. I did $22,000 this year, year to date. But I really didn't do anything till October. I didn't do anything, hardly anything. So I'm on about a $5,000 a month run rate with essentially 2 products. And 2 products are, one of them sells for $13, one sells for $15. Kind of bring this back on point. Yeah, you asked about products.
Yep.
My goal is to sell a higher revenue product immediately. Even though I have sold out, I haven't run all the numbers either, but I'm certain that I'm making some money on both products. It could be a 10%, maybe 20% net. I'm not sure because of the Amazon ads. But when you look at the time that I've spent on this, that amount of profit on a $15 product is really not acceptable to me. I need to be selling something between $20 and $50 and I would prefer to bet at the absolute minimum of 20 going forward on whatever new product I sell. So one of the big decisions I've got to make is, am I going to restock this kitchen product and this sporting goods product, because they are marginally profitable.
Well, my feeling is it's already running. You have your manufacturing together and everything, so it doesn't take much extra work. I would just keep it running and focus on the higher end products, build them up.
Yeah, and you do learn a lot from this. I mean, it's kind of like you want to keep I want to keep myself active and learning and applying. The key thing is applying what you know on a constant basis. So, I don't want to dump 2 products and hope, while I'm searching for new ones to replace it with.
Right.
Right.
I think I can, in fact, lower my. In fact, as we speak, I've been lowering my average cost per click on the Amazon ads. So I'm down to a point where I think I can. I've bottomed out on my net profit. I think I can go up from here. Probably, but I don't know what the numbers are. I need to. One of my failings is I don't really have the accounting down. So I've got to. I've really got to get a handle on the numbers.
That is yours, Freddie.
It only has a couple things on it right now. See if this is enough for. Sorry.
Well, my feeling is you're making money, make a little money, and let it run and focus on the next product.
Keep it going, right? That's very good.
Yeah.
I would.
So, kind of in the same vein, I think one of the lessons I learned from that Todd Snively guy is you're outside of Amazon effort. So, two important things is build a list, an email list, and the easiest way to do that is have an e-commerce. And then the way you build that list is by putting drop pieces or inserts. Oh my gosh, stop calling. Drop pieces to cross-sell on the e-commerce sites. First one is hold on a second, guys. I'm doing a Christmas list for my wife.
Not for you.
Well, it's for me, but it's for my wife to have. Stop making so much noise. Here. Take it. So these drop pieces would offer discounts for people going to your e-commerce site and buying the same product or a different product from there. Well, I'm being summoned. What's up?
Yeah, Jim, I think you are quite successful even with these small numbers. So I think it's a no-brainer. Keep going what you're doing.
I gotta take a 3-minute break to get something. My wife's wheelchair moved into the car she's taking, so I'll be right back.
And just work on the additional new products.
It's kind of hard for me to understand you because I'm going through speaker here, Shakti.
Should I try again? Do you hear me? Should I speak a little louder?
A little bit louder would help because I can't quite comprehend you.
I said you are obviously quite successful with the products so far, so just keep them going and add a new product.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. The key for me is to keep it going. I'm constantly agonizing over new product. I'm one of those kind of people. Once I get a new product, once I get it in, I do everything I can to market it. But I analyze new products too much, and I'm not getting new ones out there quick enough. But as Luann said, I'll be waiting till January to pull the trigger on that, because right now I'm having huge issues with Amazon seller support. On one of my listings, they have I have fulfillable inventory, but the listing does not show, and they've come up over the last 4 weeks with 3 or 4 different reasons why, and they keep lying to me. They keep shoving it off one excuse to another.
Wow.
Today I sent a scathing complaint in because it's just ridiculous that my listing isn't showing. First it's because of a character count in the title. Then it's because FBA inventory is in transit from one center to another. And then the next excuse was Saturday they told me I might have a hazmat issue. I called today and said, "What's with the hazmat issue?" And they said, "What hazmat issue? What are you talking about?" It's that bad. So I need to get past the Christmas season.
Yeah.
And let things settle down with Amazon.
Jim,
I'm not about to introduce a new product right now.
Jim, this is I read somewhere on there that they opened a new call center in Costa Rica, and they hired 2,000 phone reps.
I bet you I've gotten most of those people in the last few weeks.
So
honestly, I can't believe what I'm experiencing. It's just incredible what people are telling me. I'm beside myself. My wife just asked me a couple hours ago, "Well, what's wrong?" And I tried to. She doesn't follow me. She doesn't really follow how I do this business. And I tried to explain it to her, and she said, "Well, why don't you just tell them to fix it?" There's to try to even describe what we're hearing from these reps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can relate, Jim. I called for one reason. Well, I don't even remember what I called. Something simple, and then within that hour, my listing was down. I had no images. All of my bullet points and my description was down, and it was horrible. So I just had to re-upload all the images and pretty much, copy and paste the keyword searches and things like that, the description, remove a couple of words out like price, for sale, or holiday, or something like that, while I was on the phone with the seller support. And that's why when Danny put it on our page saying, "Hey, I got this bogus 1-star," that's why I was really, and I'm not gonna say fearful or scared, but every time I call, my listing gets flagged, and for a different reason. And so, what I did, I just did this about close to a week ago. I requested for a second uh, browse node, right, for a different subcategory.
Oh, I tried that too.
Yeah, and I got a response. They said, "Yeah, it's been upgraded. How is our work?" I'm looking at it now. I'm like, well, number one, it's not, and this is through email now because I just gave up over the phone because just like what you're going through hazmat, I mean, they're just throwing us under the bus here. So I emailed them. The guy said, yeah, it's been done. You'll get it 24 to 48 hours. It's been now like at least 4 or 5 days. I'm still in my same category. Hasn't been changed. And now that I just looked at it, within our meeting, I was at 172 customer reviews, and now I'm at 166. I just lost 6 reviews within 1 hour. And it's like every time we contact them, there's a sacrifice or a compromise or a hit that we have to swallow. And you're right. I think we're all in the same boat. We want to look at, just to step back, um, new products, and I completely agree. I want to hit, the above $35, so I can get in with that free shipping, and a larger profit margin. And if I have to switch to beauty and personal care like supplementation with a higher cost per item here in the United States, just to expedite the shipping and not having to worry about all that, then so be it. I mean, I just hope I can find a good um, you know company that has a product here in the United States. But I want to double dabble into the U.S., but um, we're a little bit limited on option there. But yeah, I to round it up, I feel the frustration every time I contact them. Something happens to my listing. I'm like, my bullet points are rearranged. My title, I update it, but when I refresh, even days later, it's still the same title, which I think they just locked us in unless we go do the other Seller Central setup, the one from Ben Cummings from a while back, that you can set it up, I don't know, behind the scenes or something like that. But I feel a little bit uh, betrayed by Seller Central because I think every time we contact, something weird happens to our listing.
That's really weird. I've never heard that before.
So I just want to agree with you. That's it.
When I tried to get another node set up, they just told me they cannot do it.
No, we have they said we used to have 3, but because of recent changes or what have you, we are able to have 2 browse nodes. And they told me, yeah, you got it. We updated you. It didn't update, and instead I lost 6 5-star reviews.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, so that's why that's a good note that we're looking at the loophole thing to see if I wanted to go through the hassle. It's another mind block for all of us to redo everything. It's easy to say rinse and repeat, but we're kind of all in the same mental block where we're just gonna have to do it all over again and deal with it again. But having more products, more profit margin, or more profit overall. But other than that, I did have some pretty good questions for you guys. I know we don't have too much time, but let's continue on and let me know when I can ask you guys some questions here.
All right. So to try to bring it back to where we were when I had to walk away on the extra Amazon effort, before I do any more adding of products. My intent is to build this, and instead of having it shipped to FBA directly, I'll either use FBA inspection, even if it's domestic, or I'll have it shipped to my house, and I'll put my kids to work. We'll put it in poly bags. We'll add the drop pieces so that I'm building that list now.
What do you mean with drop pieces?
So a postcard that says.
But you can have your manufacturer put that in. I do.
Yeah, and that's another possibility too. Yeah, absolutely. So, just depending on who it is, I was going to contact my manufacturer for the cellulite cream on the next order, which would be in January, and tell them, hey, when you do this, can you put it in a poly bag? Can you put in the postcards? And I'll send you the postcards. That way, but to do that, then I gotta set up the e-commerce site, right? So that I'm building that list through them and all of that. Because I want to build that list. And that's going to be the key, because that takes it then out of the hands of Amazon. So if Amazon does shut me down, you know, I can still market to these people directly. And obviously not what I want to happen, but that way I'm not completely out, where I have no say at all. The other thing too that I plan on doing in the next week or two is finding some drop ship companies that drop ship, you know, similar products. And I'm setting up agreements with them to do that, so that I can have more than just my own products on my e-commerce site. I can, you know, maybe even on the listings for the different Amazon product. I can list the same products on Amazon and get them drop shipped that way. The only thing with doing it on Amazon is that the payment is delayed, so you have to have some working capital up front to make the order. So let's say you sell a $30 bottle of whatever, and it costs you, say, 18 bucks. You got to fork out the $18 in advance. Annabelle, thank you. Go. We have a new puppy, so I just got visited by the puppy. Good times. So anyway, yeah, that's part of my plan too, to start expanding my product offering even beyond private label products, which is kind of why this loophole thing helps out a little bit as well, because I can open that. So I've got now 3 channels of suppliers. I've got my own private label channel. I've got this loophole thing, which is a completely separate company, and all I'm doing, they're supplying the product, I'm marketing it for them on Amazon and collecting a commission. And then the third one is the drop ship. And in all of those cases, you can take it beyond Amazon as well. So then you have multiple sales channels. You have the e-commerce site, eBay, some of the other sites like eBay, Bonanza, and there's a ton of them. I can never remember any of the rest of them, but probably about 10 to 12 solid ones like eBay and Bonanza. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there as well, so that we're not forking out this, you know, big wad of cash for the inventory, and we're building more working capital by using dropship and by using this loophole thing.
So drop shipping is you having somebody else's product put on your website and sell it through your website, and they do the fulfillment, or I still don't understand quite, I think.
Yes, it is you're selling somebody else's product, and they order it on, let's say you drop ship from eBay. You put the listing up on eBay. I did this with vape mods, they call them, and it's the units that hold the battery and all the different parts when somebody is using the e-cigarettes instead of smoking, right? So I would put it up there out of my store on eBay, and somebody would order it, and I already had a supplier. I used their pictures. So they would order it from me. They would pay me, say, 28 bucks. I would go to the website for this other place that sells out of China. I would order it from them. I would pay, say, $9.95 plus $1.40 shipping or something like that, and I would ship it to the people. Now, it would take as much as 2 weeks for it to get to the U.S. from China this way. So, you know, you got to make sure that all of those things are accounted for and that you're aware. But when they would ship it, they would give me a tracking number, so I could go put the tracking number into eBay. And, you know, there were complaints about how long it took, and it took a long time. And I had a little bit of product quality issues, not much, but in the course of a month, I made about $1,000 net off of that. Problem is, I had to come up with quite a chunk of change to buy these, to send them to these people, because eBay and PayPal put a hold on your money for up to 3 weeks. So there's some drawback when you're doing it that way, especially if the payment isn't instant. If you're doing the drop shipping from your own websites, then the payment is instant, and you don't have to come up with this working capital ahead of time, because you're getting payment and you're just turning around and sending that payment or a portion of that payment to the drop shipping company. Does that make sense? Oh, I think I'm frozen.
More sense, yeah.
So I don't know. I think I was frozen for a minute there, but so that's what drop shipping is. So what I would do differently, so that I'm not competing for the buy box on any products, is I would go and I would create some sort of an ebook to package with it. I would put a new UPC code on it, so now I have my own product. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that way, I'm not competing for the buy box. And that I learned from that Todd Snively guy on the ASM Facebook group.
So you don't want to compete for the buy box?
Correct.
Why not?
Because then I'm competing with a bunch of other people for the same product when I could have my own listing completely unique.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's one other thing too, kind of to that end and to the end of creating your own things, and that's the crystal ball method that Ben Cummings talks about.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, let me go ahead and just put that up here, crystal ball. What you do is you grab an ASIN number from an existing product where there are lots of sellers. You add it to inventory, add the product, sell your own, sell yours, condition, new, price is most expensive, say 2 times or 3 times average. Let's see here. You put quantity at 2 to 5, and you dispatch yourself. Yeah. And then after 24 hours, so 24 hours later or more, you check your reports, and you look for the detail, page, sales, and traffic by parent item. That tells you what volume is being moved on that product. Not your product, because you probably haven't sold any of them because it's too expensive, but it tells you how many units are moving of the parent item. So that gives you an idea of how much volume is being done on those products. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we're 4 minutes away from the 2 hours. Is there anything else that we need to talk about on any of the topics we've covered so far?
Well, that's some questions, right?
Mark had questions, yeah, so I want to open it up for him. And
Yeah.
I have one other thing related to separate stream of income on products, but we'll talk about that after we get your questions done, Mark.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just ask the three or so questions.
Just go. I'm not locked into the 2 o'clock time, so if you want to just go.
Okay. Well, I mean, it kind of ties in with what you just said to it, and I plan on doing the same, like what Todd did, and trying to do the Amazon Associates. I'm really stuck on that. I just haven't really just pursued it. It's just a mind block as usual. But my thing is, okay, well, since I have all these reviews and I've heard and read that we can, I haven't tried it yet, but I'm willing to do it since I have my virtual assistants. They'll just do it. I'm having them start it now. But my my question is, how can I do Amazon Associates with the Alliance tool? Because I heard you can do the credits Alliance thing while using your special URL from the Associates program with Amazon. So we kind of get two birds with one stone. Um, is that possible? And I guess my question is, on top of that, is for the Associates, which account do I only have two. I only have a seller account and my personal account that I had for many years, or a whole new third one. A made-up account or a real account, or I'm not really sure how to sign up with Amazon Associates. From what I hear, that the answer is sign up with not your seller account.
Right. You definitely don't want to sign up with your seller account.
Okay, so what account? Like my personal account?
Yeah. Or create a new one.
Or create a new one. Okay, well, yeah, I'm back to that. Do we have like a consensus on that? That's better, safer, and then when I create a new one, is this a made-up one, or is it like just use a different part of my name, a real name?
I opened up a separate Gmail account, a new Gmail account to do an associates. So it's completely separate from
right.
the ASM account. Yep.
I personally would keep them separate, just so that there's no commingling of activity or punishment or anything like that.
Right.
And what about like the name, your real name then, right?
Yeah.
Because I still haven't started it. Okay, so.
Oh, see, now Tim is saying make up a name.
Okay, and then for the, has any of you guys used Alliance and tied it with Alliance, and is that possible?
What do you mean by tied it with Alliance? What is that?
I'm hearing, well, so I watched it all and I'm still confused. It's like it's showing you how to show proof that you've said, that you've scored that this comment was helpful versus this comment was not helpful.
Okay, yeah.
But I was a little bit lost on when is the part where I share my product so people can vote mine up and down. I was a little bit lost on that area. Like, okay, when do I get to kick in and be inside that pool of products that it'll just randomly show up on another ASMR's?
You create a job. And there's no particular benefit of this affiliate sales on that Alliance account thing. I mean, when you use the Alliance tool, it's for the purpose of voting up and down reviews. So it's nothing.
Okay,
so Ben Cummings said he doesn't recommend using the Alliance tool, so I have stayed away from it after initial work with it, because he said for him the risk is too high that Amazon kind of gets the hint and shuts down his account.
So Luann, have you tried putting it together, the associate or the affiliate and the Alliance tool?
No, I haven't. In fact, the reason I opened up an associates account was that I did a Facebook store, and I wanted to do the associates account on the Facebook store, which is associated with the fan page, rather than and that was the whole reason for that.
Yeah. No. That's a great strategy. I plan on doing that, but I just read somewhere that you can also do it with the alliance tool, so it's kind of giving you that extra % commission or something like that. But I suppose I just have to read more into it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with how the alliance tool can help you make money, but I could see there's two different kinds of links, and they serve two different kinds of purposes for things that you would want to do to manipulate results. One would be this affiliate link, and what this would do is this would give you an extra 3 to 10% cut of your sales. And then on top of that, or in lieu of that, then you also have the super URL or the ASM ranker URL, which will help you to rank for a particular keyword. So if you're giving out your link to people that you are pretty confident will buy, you have a choice to make. Do I want to take advantage of that resource and have it improve my rank for a particular keyword, or do I want to have additional sales because of it? So in the case where I'm getting reviews in exchange for a discount, I'm going to err on the side of getting the rank because the commission on 0 is going to be 0, right?
Right.
So, however, if there are other places I'm going to email out the link for people that are going to buy at full price or 20% off or whatever, then I may want to give them the affiliate link instead. I guess I don't see how using the affiliate link would be beneficial in the context of ASM. I'm not understanding that. I'm not saying it can't be, I just don't understand it. However, like Luann was saying, set up a Facebook page that has a store on it and use the affiliate link on there, and you're double dipping, which is great, but it is also, for the record, against the TOS for Amazon for you to affiliate your own product, which is why you want to have a separate unique account.
Yeah, which is not what I have done.
Right.
Our flashlight was not one of the choices on the. We set up 2 different fan pages, and the tabs for the fan pages. One on Todd's site for videos and video equipment, cameras, green screen products, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And on the Weatherman fan page, we set up weather-related products like weather books and games for kids and
Right.
things of that nature. So yeah, the flashlight never came in. I was careful about that.
So the one thing that you could do, since we're talking about the multiple channels of supply and the multiple channels of sales, is you could create an e-commerce site effectively. It's more of an affiliate site that offers products that are on Amazon, and you can put your drop piece in there that sends them to that affiliate site to find more products. Although that would be probably not as lucrative as you'd like if you were the source of all the products. And you can do the same with drop shipping. If you have a site that you drop ship from, you could send them to that site to buy, and then it's not through Amazon. But again, all possible ways. I think the trick in this case, as we start talking about possibilities, the one thing that will kill your ability to be effective and to make money faster than the fear that we discussed earlier is being fractured, or having your focus being fractured, so you're not taking any significant motion forward on one particular thing, but you're spreading that effort out on too many things. So whatever it is that you think that you want to do, time box your decision-making effort, whether that be research or just I don't know, going back through ASM or whatever, and say, I'm going to make this decision by this particular date, and then follow through on that. And then focus on only that until you have it up and running. Right? What's made Denny and and me and Jim successful is that we've picked one thing and we've done it. And you too, you picked one thing, and that was ASM on one product, and you went and did that thing, and now you're making money on it. Now you're at a point where the effort to keep that, the maintenance effort to keep that going is relatively minimal, and you can go add another product or another revenue stream. And so what you want to do is make sure that you're focused on that revenue stream, or that the effort to do that revenue stream is very specific and very succinct, and you know exactly what you need to do, and then you can move forward with that until you get it up to a maintenance level. And pretty soon your maintenance level is going to exceed your ability to do all these things, and that's when you hire somebody else to do that maintenance work, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I found to be my biggest demon. Where Shakti fights with fear, I fight with opportunity. And I spend my effort just being in awe of all these opportunities, and I run 5 steps down one path for an opportunity. I'm like, this is great. Oh, look, another opportunity. I come back and I run down 5 steps in that, and I'm like, oh, wait, what about what I had going? And now I'm going between multiple opportunities, and I'm not really getting anything done on any one thing. I'm getting a bunch of nothing done on a bunch of stuff. So this is my sin when it comes to business, and what I've got to be very careful not to do.
Yeah.
Which is where writing things down, like on that spreadsheet I showed you earlier, on all these different projects I have. Now I won't forget it because it's there, and I can move forward with it when I'm ready. But I can go focus on one thing and not worry about forgetting the other 20 that I really loved but can't do right now. Also known as the shiny object syndrome.
I see.
You don't get distracted with too many things.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go.
Good. No, appreciate that. I need to hear all that good stuff. Okay. Next question is, I haven't compared it again down to the numbers, but it seemed like it's somehow increased. And I know Shakti, I think you signed up, so maybe you guys might have better input. But FBA inspection, they have that membership thing, different amount per order minimum, all these different fees compared to what we first started with. And is it good to go back with them, or, you know, I heard from other ASMers that Earth Class Mail is just as competitive. You know, is there, you know, I was talking to Jim yesterday about, you know, getting back into the whole reordering process and things like that, and just wondering if, you know, FBA inspections seem to be a little bit more expensive from the first time. I'm not sure, but that's what it sounds like, because they have this membership going on with a yearly fee. Is that competitive now compared to Earth Class Mail? And I know everything is to each their own, where it's coming from and the type of product and quality, but I was thinking about just bypassing them, since I had a really low products that were damaged, but yet the only thing that's, you know, I have to get down to the nitty gritty when it's ready to ship, shipping from China to FBA warehouse door to door. If going through one port, let's say in Oakland or wherever it goes, comes in for FBA inspection, and then once it hits an inspection warehouse to ship it out, that would, number one, still have that inspection service, and number two, still be cheaper than going door to door. I still have to investigate more into that, but you know, how do you guys feel about the FBA inspection update as far as the fees and the membership? And if you guys found anything else that's competitive.
Well, I had initially signed up for the membership, and then I realized that it wouldn't be worth it, so I dropped out of it because I had so much trouble with my shipment last time. They weighted it wrong, and all kinds of stuff went wrong, so they let me get out of it. And now they're charging 45 cents per unit to inspect, and that's so beyond of what I want to pay. So last time I had a Chinese inspection before it was air shipped out, and everything was okay. And next time, or the shipment now coming, I'm not going to do any inspection and just take my chances.
Okay, do you know if the cost is cheaper without the inspection but going to the 3 or so FBA warehouses? Because I'm hearing that it's still cheaper going through an inspection warehouse like FBA inspection or maybe Earth Class Mail as opposed to going from their supplier to the port to the 3 warehouses because of ground shipping, etc.
I don't know anything about that, but that's an interesting thing to find out.
So that's why I have to get down. Once my my products are ready to be shipped, I can get down with the numbers. I talk to my freight forwarder, then he's kind of like, yeah, I would do it to one warehouse at the FBA inspection and let them ship it because their agent in the United States will definitely upcharge to ship into 3 different places, and it'll be more expensive. Plus, there's no inspection that's been done. So I'm in that dilemma. If Jim or anyone or Luann or even you're going through a roller coaster with that. Because I don't want to be stuck with FBA inspection now that they're boosting up all their fees and having a membership, and I'm kind of like, whoa, they're really maximizing on us ASMers, but I just don't know enough. But maybe is there anyone have a feedback on that? Just go through the same motion, FBA inspection, wing it, or it'll just come down to numbers. I just have to check it directly and see if it's worth not going through inspection as opposed to that, and just how you feel about the new update with FBA inspection with their fees. Any feedback on that?
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, I don't have any experience with that, so I'm not speaking from a place of experience. But I would make sure that you have multiple avenues for that. Other than that, I can't really speak to any of that because of my lack of experience. Jim, do you have any more comments on that?
Yeah, there's a lot of variables here, so it's hard to settle on any one guideline. But I can just give you an example of what I did with FBA inspection. My first sporting goods product I had shipped to myself, and then I shipped it to FBA so that I could, check the product out. Then I needed to have packaging done and an insert done, a logo and everything done by the supplier in China. So rather than have them send it to me, I had them send it to FBA and via Air Express, DHL. And then FBA turned that around very quickly. And so, as far as I was concerned, I didn't need FBA inspection anymore for that product from that supplier. Then what I did was I instructed the supplier to ship it DHL, Air Express, directly to FBA, and that works. So, in my case, as long as you could ship by air, and I think when you introduce if you're going by ocean freight, you're introducing a lot of variables. So I'm not talking about ocean freight. But if you're shipping by air, an FBA inspection can be a good interim, one-stop checkpoint. That's what I used them for. I might use them again for another product, but from now on, for my sporting goods product, I'll go DHL direct to FBA. And you know what? I thought that would be fraught with problems because I only did it for 100. I put 100 units in one master carton and had that shipped to FBA. And I thought, there's going to be something that goes wrong. And nothing went wrong. It checked right in to FBA with no problem. So I don't know if that helps Dr. Mark, but because you're talking about, it kind of depends on what your goal is. And if you're going to go ocean freight, you've just introduced a lot of new variables into the equation.
Okay, so here's a question. Did you do the same products FBA inspection, and what was the cost difference? You know, from inspection and going direct door to door to the FBA.
No difference whatsoever in shipping cost. It was the same because when they ship DHL to the United States, it's virtually doesn't make any difference where it goes, as long as it's DHL Air Express to the mainland.
Okay, then from the
Added cost. The only added cost I had when I went to FBA inspection was $35 per carton that they had to inspect, plus the cost of shipping UPS from FBA inspection to FBA. I went in there. I went into this knowing this would be my only added cost.
where I missed that last word you said, or the last sentence.
He said that he went into it knowing that it would be his only added cost.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll try to determine it and see what the cost is for me, because I know for okay, so here's a follow up then, is for the products you sent directly to FBA warehouses, for the products that were damaged upon arrival, if any, what was the resolution that FBA took, since there's no more inspection warehouse?
I didn't understand the question.
Since you went direct from China to FBA warehouse,
Mhm.
on the products that may have been damaged upon arrival or during shipping or whatever, doesn't matter, damaged, um, what what do Amazon do? What's the resolution? They just say, ship it back to you.
I've had a couple of
I
items come in as damaged, and it'll tell you that you have an alert, and the alert is basically just a message in your Seller Central saying that X number of units were damaged when they checked it in, and you have the option then to have them send it to you or to have them destroy it. If they send it to you, you're paying for the shipping for them to send it to you. If you have them destroy it, I think starting next year they're going to have you pay something to have them destroy it, but it's minimal. It's cents, not dollars.
Okay, so then they really are built within an inspection warehouse themselves, pretty much too.
If it's obvious, yeah. I mean, they're not going to open every box and check to make sure it's not broken. But if it's obvious that it's damaged, they'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Down to two more questions.
I had exactly the same experience. I had one unit out of 400 that was reported as damaged. I elected to have it shipped to me because I wanted to see the nature of that damage, and it was just a torn foam bag. So I didn't mind paying for the cost of shipping to me, so I could see what the problem was. But what Alan said is exactly what I experienced.
Yeah, no, that's funny. I just had to deal with one just right now, my first one too. So that's, I mean, I guess I'm just trying to say that there's no purpose anymore for FBA inspection. It would seem. I mean, that's just what I'm trying to figure out. But the only thing I'm trying to figure out again is to see the overall cost if shipping it from China direct to FBA. But I guess I can figure that out when my products are ready to be shipped. And just wanting to get a feedback from you guys.
The reason that I was going to use FBA inspection, I had labels. Well, first of all, the flashlight is imprinted, but it was in a black gift box, so there was nothing to identify us on the gift box. So I had created labels, and I also had created an insert. So I needed both of those to be the label to be put on the box and the insert to be put inside the box. So we were going on vacation, and was panicking a little bit. I was like, what am I going to do? Have it sent to my vacation, the hotel, The timing was such. So I just went ahead and got it all arranged for FDA inspection. I made up the labels. I made up the insert. I sent that in a separate package to them, and then the flashlights were to be shipped to them, and they were going to put it on. So everything was going to work wonderfully if there had been 250 flashlights to send them, but that wasn't the case. But that's why I was going to use them. And to address your issue about the damage, I did have problems with a lot of the gift boxes. When I had the shipment sent to me, I had to re-glue about 30% of my boxes, and once they were re-glued, they looked fine. They were not a problem, but some of the boxes fell apart once they got to some of the ones that I hadn't glued together. They fell apart when they got to Amazon, and so Amazon pulled several of them, and what they did was reimburse me for the product and sold the product or offered the product as a new product, but labeled it as packaging may possibly be damaged. And it was listed right on the same page with my new items. There was a little, also available from, and it was labeled as directly from Amazon warehouse, and it was labeled just that way, new with possibly damaged packaging. So if somebody just wanted the product and they didn't care about the packaging, they were going to give it as a gift, it wouldn't matter to them, and so they could buy it for a cheaper price directly from Amazon.
Right. And Amazon does that. It's their warehouse deals, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they get the product for their warehouse deals, is it's damaged product.
Yeah, I've noticed that too on my listing, and it's another rhetorical type of question, is that I just noticed when a customer returns or refunds, I just noticed that, hey, you can buy used. I just saw it on the buy box, and that's because a customer returned it or refunded it, right? So now Amazon owns it and is reselling my own product for a lesser price, but marked as used. Is that right?
It's possible, yeah. It just depends on what condition it comes back. If they do that, they shouldn't be subtracting the money from you, though. They would need to return it to you or destroy it if it's refunded.
Or I think I have now a buy used option below my buy box, and I'm just assuming that it's the returned products that were bought from me, and I don't know if they paid me as if they paid it as if it's Amazon's fault. They damaged the product, and then they'll just pay me what they feel its retail value, or I'm not really sure how that works.
If they pay you, it's going to be the full retail value.
Yeah, so then now they're reselling it as a used product under my buy box, and is that normal? I suppose.
I would think it is, yes.
Okay, cool, yeah. And then I'm just hoping that they did pay me. Okay, two more questions. One is, because I'm pretty freaked out, like what Jim was saying, contacting seller support. Like I said, I just noticed I lost 6 reviews, but I have a good amount. I have 172 down to 166. Should I even call and cry about it, or just say forget about it? It's just 6 reviews. I'm pretty up there. It still shows 5 out of 5. I got 3 1-stars, which I'm butthurt, but
2 things on that. One, I don't call them or communicate with them unless I absolutely have to. 6 reviews, in my opinion, is not an absolutely have to. They do curate or they what do they call it? Culling. They cull those. So you're going to get them where they actually do come off. You get some added, some that come off. They go through them regularly, about every 2 to 3 weeks. I find I've lost probably 10 reviews total out of how many ever I have on there now, just because for whatever reason, right?
Wow.
They took off my sister's review, which was perfectly legitimate. She ordered it, she tried it, she liked it, but they took it off. And I've had other ones taken off. I've had other ones I thought should be taken off that shouldn't. I had some bogus ones get on there, 1-star. They were taken off. So they're not just taking off your best reviews. They're taking off ones that they deem conspicuous. But yeah, I don't contact them unless I absolutely have to.
Okay. Yeah, I have a fear of that. Contacting them, somebody's gonna flag me down. So I'll just charge that to experience right there. I have my last question here, a fun one. Are you guys ready?
Hold on a second. What were you saying, Jim?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you've got 100, you just got to use good business judgment there. If you've got 172 reviews and 166 are 5s, don't sweat the small stuff.
Right.
You're doing,
Yeah. No, that's
you
huge.
just be quiet and keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree, man. Just a lot of times I just need to hear that, and I agree. Okay, so here's the fun part of my question here. I finally, out of nowhere, I got it squeezed in. I pushed and pulled, but I'm gonna need you guys' help. You can tell I'm really aloof right now. We're almost all in the same place, reordering, getting new products, but we're all kind of like, do we want to go through this again? But I think we're all gonna pursue it. We're gonna do it. We've talked about it the last 2 hours. So here's my question, and I'm happy that today, it must be a reason that today we have a meeting, and I hope not crowdfunding, but brainstorming crowdfunding if you guys want to implement, and I can report back and do the best I can and record it, share it. I have my 20-minute session one-on-one consultation with Jason Fladlin tomorrow. If you reach the 10K, with my products, in all honesty, I was about 9K, and I'm at 26 left, and I'm not doing anything until my new order comes in. But who cares? According to them, I made 10K. I don't know. I made the meeting, so I'm just gonna wing it and just do it. But I'm so everywhere. You can pinpoint it, Alan, that I just need to be a little bit more focused, do step by step. But with everything that we're going through, I got 20 minutes to ask advice from this guy. That's a pretty big ticket. Shoot at me. Let me know what you guys feel that we really need to ask Jason, and then I could at least say relay to him.
Yeah.
And report back. I'll record it.
Yeah, record it. That's good.
Or you know what, Ali, you should just do the call to say your mark. Because right now I'm not even here right now. Leave a message, but I would like to make a pretty strong group effort here. So Luann gets answers, questions answered. Jim, Shakti, me, you, Alan, everyone else. That if you guys feel that I can maybe 3 to 7 questions or something that's very that we can get answers from Jason, that I can just ask him right off the bat, because right now I'm everywhere. I don't even know what to start off with. So it would be great if you guys can type it out here on the text box, or say it and I'll just type it and I'll just report back, because this is kind of a gold mine. I set it up for myself to hit a goal, but I'm still almost back to square one, rinse and repeat. So it would be great
Why
if
don't you ask him about the sales tax situation? I would like to know if he personally has signed up in all the 14 states of the warehouses.
Okay, signed up with...
If he personally is signed up with all the states which have Amazon warehouses, and I'm sure he didn't do it himself, so who signed him up?
Okay, signed up personally with, and then you said there's 14 states that Amazon has the
warehouses right now, yeah.
Okay, so signed up personally with 14 states where the FBA warehouses are located.
Yeah, I mean, just to get his perspective onto that whole nightmare.
Which company did he use? Or accountant. Okay. Any other questions or other revenue options to shoot, to him? Maybe a follow up with a loophole or something else that you guys want to ask.
I'm typing in some, and Jim typed one in.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay, what do I have to do to get 50,000 a month? Sweet, straightforward.
Jim, we got a lot of answers to that question. That the second product is always boosting up the first product if it's in the same category.
Yeah, so I'm gonna type all this out and I'll read it and see if I have any follow up. Yeah, with Jim, I'm in the same boat. It's okay. It's not the jet stream, but I still believe that if I add a second product, and I could still leave my premium price, but add that extra additional discount by buying I don't know what you call it, sister product or a similar product. I'm gonna try to invest in it and add a sister product, but I'll ask him anyways. Okay, let me get all this in here.
So I put a couple more in there.
Yeah.
I am going to have to go pretty quickly.
Yeah, me too.
I did have one other thing I wanted to bring up, and this is kind of, I'll stop the recording now because it's